Back when the SCX10 Pro was released, I got my hands on one of Axial's R&D rigs to show you guys the new platform. I had a lot of fun with it, but it was a limited time and I actually had to send it back. Since then, I was able to get my hands on my own kit, and I've actually been collecting some other option parts for it, some electronics, and I've been slowly putting it together, as you could see. But they forced my project to get done because they've just sent over this portal axle kit. I'm excited to try it out. It's actually called the Pro45 Portal Axle Kit. They come assembled from the factory in this nice little display box, but there's some important information on the back that I want to show you. First up, this is what comes inside the box. You get your steerable front axle, you get the rear axle, the servo plate, the link mount. If you want to go run the 4-link setup, it's already got the panhard mount on there, and some additional hardware. Here are the important specs that I really wanted to show you. So with this setup, you're gonna have a wider track, 13.6 millimeters, and more ground clearance, 13.8 millimeters. They also have 20 degrees of caster, and then obviously fully assembled. We already saw that, but let's check out the axle a little bit closer. Pop open the box here, and it's a pretty nice looking setup. At first glance, it looks like the stock setup, but obviously we have the larger C-hubs and then the portal knuckles on the outside. Metal gears on the inside of those, metal 12 millimeter hexes, ball bearings. You got your universals, which gives you the 45 degrees of steering, the steel tubes in the center, metal ring and pinion gear, ball bearings in there, of course, as well, and everything is well greased from the factory. Now I want to take out the rear axle so you can see that up close, but I went and grabbed my standard axle just so you guys could see the length visually. You definitely have an increased track to the vehicle, and then as you can see, you got that ground clearance now with the portal drop on it. So pretty cool setup. Let me go put these on the Pro and see how it looks. Over on the workbench, the axle swap took me a little bit of extra time because my kit was still in the process of being built up. But if your Pro is already assembled, making this axle swap is going to be really easy. You just have to remove the screws from the links and shocks, your wheels and tires, and make a quick adjustment to your steering links. You're also going to have to swap out the center drive shafts, but all that stuff is done really quick. And the instructions walk you through all those processes without a problem. And then you just have to go out and hit the rocks. So last year when Axial sent me their R&D truck to show you guys, I had to go up to RC Madison, Enfield, Connecticut to drive it. It was really the right spot to go and show you it in action and how it performs. But this year I had to run back there simply because everything outside is covered in snow, all the rocks are wet. So I had the same test spot basically. And you know, it's been a while since about a year since I drove the original truck, but I remember some of the traits, and I could say that I think this one handles a bit better with these axles on it. And I think it actually would have been cool if Axial had these axles on it from the start. However, I know there are some straight axle fans, there's some portal axle fans, and I am definitely a portal axle fan on this particular rig. Just the extra width on this, I think it really helped out with the stability. I remember going around some of the rocks, and I remember it being a touch edgy, but it seemed much more stable with the wider stance. Also, the clearance is definitely noticeable. It went over some rocks, some jagged rocks too, without catching. There's definitely some scrapes on the bottom of the axle. I really like these tubes. Kind of allows the rig to slide over some of the rocks. But I definitely like the new stance of it, the new clearance of it. I think the gear ratio is a bit better too. It just has a nice smooth crawl to it. Definitely a great axle for this kit if you want to go to a portal setup. And what's actually really nice about this axle kit beyond using it on the Pro is if you're someone who's building up your own comp rig from scratch, you know, this is a nice axle set to go and pick up. Definitely got a lot of benefits from it. And the last thing I want to tell you guys about is I did talk to Axial about the portal housings themselves. Basically, there's the same as the SCX 10.3. So if you already have brass for those portal setups, you could go and use it on here. You know, unfortunately, I went and got all the brass for the straight axle, and now I need to go get brass for this particular setup. But I think it'll be worth it. It'll just help plant the rig a little bit more and be a lot more fun. I'll have links for everything in the video description below.